It comes at night. Because bad parenting leads to multiple deaths in a post-apocalyptic world out in the wilderness is not only a little too long of a title that won't fit on a DVD, but it's also a little too on the nose. We're reviewing It Comes at Night. It implies there is an animal, or a clown, or a wendigo, a gnome, Sasquatch, a girl that breaks into your house, walks across the floor with one of her boobies hanging out, pissing all over herself. That's an it. Hell, even Camila Cabello could come at night. The it is not a ravenous beast, frothing at the mouth with a bloodlust unmatched by any other. Can't wait to rip the flesh from your body and chew on your muscles like they're jerky, and pick its teeth with your bones. No! The it is a disease. A disease that makes you do this. And then you break out into boils and you slowly die. First to die of the disease in the movie is the father-in-law to the patriarch, Paul. Now, I don't know what this disease is, but from the amount of dick measuring that's in this movie, I'd say the disease is toxic masculinity. I mean, for shit's sake. Paul always has to be the HDIC throughout the whole movie, and it makes his character unbelievably obnoxious to the point where you're just like, So, Paul, I know I'm supposed to be rooting for you, but could you maybe just make it easier? Anyway, Paul kills his father-in-law right in front of his wife. Now, I know my husband is not going to cry near as much when my father dies as I would. However, I do expect him to show a little regret or a little restraint. Paul just putting his father-in-law in a wheelbarrow, putting a pillow over his head and then blowing his brains out and then dumping him in a shallow grave. It's about the equivalent of your husband sitting back, man-spreading, putting his arms around his chest and going, yeah, at least we won't have to endure any more of his dumb dad jokes. Travis isn't allowed to see anything. Now, these people are so worried about their son seeing something that they want to pretend like nothing is wrong, which must be the reason why they don't have a night watch. Paul and Sarah just go to sleep. They just go to sleep, while young, curious Travis wants to know what's going on. Yeah. That's when Will breaks into the house, and they tie Will to a tree, further bringing out the plot twist that there is no it. Mankind is the real enemy. Yeah, like this wasn't done in the village. Like this mysterious disease nobody could explain making people psychos wasn't done in The Happening. Like, Rod Serling didn't do this. George Orwell didn't do this. Motherfucker, Euripides didn't already do this. He's an ancient Greek playwright. For shit's sake. This concept of mankind as the ultimate enemy is something we deal with day to day on Facebook. Something we always see. You want to see it better and in less time? Watch I Shot an Arrow into the Air or Monsters Are Due on Maple Street. That is the way you do mankind is the ultimate enemy. However, after tying Will to a tree for 2 days and letting him scream, shirtless alone in the cold all night, proving that Paul is just a kind-hearted person, and I know you don't always have to be likable. I hate when characters are super likable, but find a happy medium, for God's sake. Sarah talks Paul into letting Will and his wife Linda and their son Andrew come see them. And now while Paul, Sarah, and Travis all have separate rooms, William, Linda, and Andrew have to share the same room. So it doesn't matter if Sarah or Andrew and Linda haven't had sex in a long time. They have their kid just play with the dinosaur while Travis listens and goes, "What are they doing? Those are some funny noises." Travis doesn't even know how to cut wood. From the conversations that happen when they're drinking lukewarm rum and talking about stuff and trying to make it look like they're all a happy little family. Paul was a history teacher and he grew up in this house, or it was his. Anyway, it's his house. So out in the middle of the forest, in the middle of nowhere, William, the younger parent, shouldn't have to teach Travis, a kid who's like maybe 5 years younger than him, how to cut wood. It's very obvious that Travis was spoiled because when he's talking with Linda, Linda's saying she doesn't even like sweets and she wasn't raised on them. And Travis is saying, "Oh, I love sugar." Spoiled ass Travis. Anyway, nothing happens for a while. Except maybe William and Linda have a lot of sex, so, well, at least we know they come at night. But that's it. It ends with a bunch of suspicion and a bunch of craziness, and William and Linda are killed by Paul. What was the best scene? Well, when Paul's getting his face beat in while William's in the handcuffs and William's just... That was the best scene. I enjoyed that very much. I enjoyed it a lot. What was the worst scene? Probably the rest of the movie. I did not like this movie. I did not intend to like this movie. I watched it the first time, hardly even paid attention, decided it was just too boring, not even boring enough to be considered a garbage fire. But you know what happened? I rewatched it, and it's worse than a garbage fire. Holy shit. It really isn't as good as everybody gives it credit for. I give it 2 stars, 1 for participation and the other because at this level of acting, this level of up here, screaming, swearing, going insane, losing your ever-loving mind, has to be exhausting. Has to be so exhausting. And the bad parenting thing I talked about, like I said, Travis doesn't know when to stay in his room. Travis doesn't know how to cut wood. Travis doesn't know shit because Paul and Sarah don't let him know shit. The 9-year-old that they found wander with Will and Linda, that is their kid, knows more than Travis does. This movie falls flat in a number of ways that really it could have done a lot better. Like, if it had not had the title it does, I would have maybe enjoyed it. If it had maybe been... if it had had any other name at all, I bet it would have been great, and I would have liked it. Instead, it had to have It Comes at Night, and like I said, nothing came at night. They had Will tied to a tree for 2 days, and no diseases. Here's a picture. Oh, God. Here's an image of garbage burning. Toss that on there. And that. This is not the way to burn fat, you know it?